welcome to episode 6 of the Crochet Luna podcast. My name is Claudia and I'm coming to you from the San Diego area in Southern California, where it is super hot. I have seen other podcasters talk about how hot it is where they're at, and it is so hot right now. I mean, I have a fan going, because I'm melting. But I want to say, first of all, a special shout out to Miss Joan Klein, who this morning sent me a lovely message. Hi, Joan. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're going to have a nice weekend. She is 70 years young, and she says that watching the podcast kind of keeps her company. And I'm so happy it does that for you. I know when I was not feeling well a couple months back, I was binge watching podcasts, and it really helped me to get through a tough time. And as a matter of fact, I was chatting a little bit with Clarisabeth this week, and I said, your podcast was one of the first ones that I watched, and it really helped me to get through a really tough time with my arthritis and a flare-up that had me basically in bed for about 4 days, and actually I didn't feel good for about 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks. But I spent a good solid, 3 to 4 days in bed just feeling miserable. So I'm happy that my podcast can bring you a little bit of joy, a little bit of happiness. And honestly, part of the reason I podcast is because I want to talk about crochet and yarns all the time. And the people who are not into crochet or yarns, they'll look at something and go, oh my God, that's so wonderful, you made that. But then once I start talking about it, like their eyes glaze over, and I could just tell, it doesn't go beyond that. Wow, that's really nice, you made it. So for me, the podcast is a way of being able to just share all the yarny goodness, the patterns, the things that I hear, the things that I read with everybody else who enjoys the fiber life. So I have a lot to talk about today, and I've actually been trying to record for the past couple of days, but my kids are out of school, and so it's been kind of tough. And it's also been a little bit tough because I have a lot to talk about, so I had to organize myself. I've actually shipped my kids off with my husband to Home Depot. I said, take these kids to Home Depot, go buy some more fans, and leave me alone for an hour because I've got to record my podcast. So we'll see how that goes. But the name of the episode is Sock It To Me. And one of the reasons I want to focus on crochet socks on this episode was because the last episode, which I have to say, you guys are so kind not to put up with me going crazy about all the noise in my house. So I really appreciate that. I'm happy that you guys were able to enjoy it despite the fact that it was driving me nuts. All the grass in my backyard has been installed. My backyard looks great. The kids love it. I love it. The dogs love it. So it was all good and it was worth it. But I had purchased some crochet books that I basically just kind of flashed on screen to let you know that I had received them. And I had mentioned that I was going to focus this episode on crochet socks. And so that's what I want to start off with, because I have a lot of stuff dealing with the crochet socks. So let's get started. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you've got your drink on, your crochet on, your knitting on, and let's see what trouble I got into this week. Okay, so if you are on Instagram and you follow me on Instagram, you have seen that I purchased a book that just recently came out called Step Into Crochet. This book is written by Rohn Strong, which he's fabulous. I immediately started following him on Instagram. I think I joined his sock Facebook page. I forgot the name of it. I will put all those notes in the show notes. I'll put all the links to his stuff in my show notes. But he's got like a new sock thread on Ravelry, and he is like a sock guru. I really want to call him that, because this book, you guys, it's not just about patterns. It shows you and gives you a lot of tips and a lot of guidelines about what's going to help you make a good sock. And I'm not going to give any details in the book because, you know, you've got to go purchase it, and I think you won't regret it. If you're going to crochet socks, whether it's the socks in this book or socks in general, I think that owning this book is the way to go. But he literally has 7 measurements that you have to take on your foot in order to crochet a sock that's going to fit well. And he explains to you all of the measurements. He explains to you why you should take those measurements. And, you know, you do the same thing for the right foot as for the left foot. So that's a total of 14 measurements. Now, when I did my measurements, my feet were relatively the same. So I'm going to crochet my socks using the measurements are just slightly bigger. I think that's going to help me. But one of the problems that I ran into, and I think that is an issue because of the yarn that I chose to crochet my socks with, it's the Ultimate Booger colorway. I just like saying that. From Casual Fashion Queen. And this is what it looks like. This is what it looks like already in ball fashion. Look at all these colors. So it's really pretty. And I'm recording a little bit later in the day, so I know that the light has changed. So, like I said, I apologize if there's all this craziness going on. But we'll work with it, right? I mean, we'll make it work. So, I am crocheting, and I'll show you the pattern. It's called the Gorman Street Socks. And these socks are, oh, can you see them? Yeah, there they are. These socks are what they call shorties. And I figured I would do that so that I wouldn't get stuck like I did with my survival socks in crocheting and spending a lot of time with getting all the way up to the cuff and having the sock not fit because of the cuff. So I'm going to do toe up, which I think works good for me from just the 5,000 tries that I had with the survival socks. I really liked toe up because I could measure, I could, you know, figure out if it worked. So these are toe up socks, and I'm using a 2.75 millimeter hook, which I got from Polymer Clay Shed. Look at that cuteness. Oh my god. So my daughter is crazy for horses, and so whenever I see things with horses, I just want to get them because it just reminds me of her. Look at that horse. Anyway, so Polymer Clay Shed. I've shown you guys her card before, and I will put all the link to her shop. She cranks out so many beautiful hooks. Check it out. I mean, she just put out some sugar skull hooks, and on Instagram she showed the polymer cane for the sugar skull, which the cane is basically like a piece of polymer clay that has the image, so no matter where you cut in that cane, the image is there. And it was sugar skulls, and so I'm like, when are you gonna make these? Because I need some. I order two because I cannot not have those. I did a swap a couple years ago. It was from a UK based magazine called, let me see, yeah, the name has completely escaped me, but it was a magazine in the UK, and what you did is you signed up for their swap, and then you could and it was not yarn related, it was just a swap for whatever, and I swapped with a lady in the UK, and she sent me a crochet hook with sugar skulls on it that I loved. Like, I would purposely find patterns with that hook size so I could use that hook, and my dog Dottie got a hold of it and chewed it up, and it's been pretty devastating actually. Let me see if I can find it. But when I saw that Polymer Clay Shed had the sugar. Here it is. Look at my sad little hook that she ate. Oh my god, can you see that there's like a little, let's see. There it is. You can't even see that it's a sugar skull anymore. Oh my god. Yeah, so she ate my hook, and I'm excited now that I'll be able to replace that one with the ones from Polymer Clay Shed. Anyway, I've gotten completely sidetracked. So I did a swatch, and actually I posted the swatch on the Sock It To Me thread on Ravelry. I did a swatch because I spent all of Sunday, this past Sunday, this past Sunday, swatching for the socks. And the pattern calls for a 2.75 millimeter hook. I did a swatch, and it was too big. So, excuse me. Then I went down to a 2.50. Then I went down to a 2.25. And then finally I went down to a 2 millimeter hook, and it's too tiny. And I was so tired of swatching that I made a little tiny. Okay, don't judge people who swatch all the time, okay? I swatched like a gazillion times to get to this point. So I made this tiny swatch. It's a little bit over 1 inch, and it's got the required 28 stitches around. It's for socks. He suggests you do it in the round, so I swatched in the round, right? And I got 6 stitches per inch, but the pattern calls for what should be technically 7 stitches per inch. But I couldn't get it. I just couldn't get it. It was either too big, or it wasn't working for me. So I figured I've got the 6 stitches per inch here. I got a little bit over 1 inch up here, which is fine. I'm not worried about the height as much as and I started crocheting the socks with the 2 millimeter hook. That did not work. The toe part was tiny. So I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong, but I'm okay with that because I'm learning. This is all learning. I think once I get it, it'll be fine. So I decided I'm gonna crochet with the 2.75 millimeter hook, and I've crocheted this much on the sock. See that? This is what I've done so far. And the pattern, this is all the way up to where I'm going to start, I guess, crocheting in the, for the foot. And look, I made this cute little stitch marker. It's a moon. Oh, there it is. There it is. Anyway, it's cute. I like moons. I don't know. I know a lot of people are attracted to sun motifs. I've always liked the moon stuff, so I made that. So yeah, here's my sock. Here's my beautiful yarn again, and that's where I'm at with my step into crochet sock pattern that I'm working. So next, I want to share with you. What's really funny is that I thought, if I'm going to talk about socks, I want to talk about socks. And I thought, I'm going to get some stuff that I think in the future, once my socks are done, I'll be able to show. So I got some Knitter's Pride sock stretcher thingies. What are these called? Sock blockers. And I got these off Etsy because Amazon, for some reason, it's the weirdest thing. They had them 2 different sellers had them for 79 cents. And I thought, whoa, what is going on? I added them to my cart. I purchased them. Then I got an email saying, oh yeah, that listing doesn't exist, or there's something, an error listing. I don't know, whatever. So then I went on Etsy, and then I couldn't get them. So then I went on Etsy and I found these, and the seller sent them to me right away, which I was really happy about. So sock blockers, check. Then I wanted to talk to you guys about something that I think knitters know all about, but I don't know that we crocheters even think about doing, which is using sock blanks, sorry. I watch some podcasts that are knitters and crocheters, you know, like they knit and crochet, and I watch some podcasts that are just primarily knitting, just because I just like the fiber stuff. I like watching what people are doing and making. And I remember episode 1 of the Yarn Hoarder podcast with Amber. She talked about sock blanks, and it blew my mind, because when she showed them, I'm like, oh my god, the image probably transfers over to the sock, and then you have this crazy sock with an image. No, Claudia, that is not the way a sock blank works. So if you guys don't know about sock blanks, I've got stuff to share. So I wanted to share with you guys, like I was saying, about sock blanks. So here it is. It's just a knitted piece of merino wool. This is 75% merino wool, 25% nylon. So I'm assuming this would be great for socks. The company name is, I'm so dry. I'm just so dehydrated, you guys. I am like melting on the inside and on the outside. Okay. It's called Stickchick. The seller is Jennifer, and she is, I wrote a note here where she's from. Let's see. Boston, Massachusetts. Okay. I was blown away. She has a ton of undyed fiber, undyed yarn, sock blanks, beautiful shawl pins, just a ton of cool stuff. But this is her little label that came on her sock blank. And she got it to me right away, it was great, because I had mentioned, I said, look, I want to do a podcast this week, and how fast can I get it? Well, I got it, like, I think I got this on Wednesday. Today is Friday, by the way. So yeah, I've got this sock blank, and you know what I'm going to do with it? I'm going to paint on this, because I want to try it. Now, a couple days ago, was it yesterday, Thursday, Wednesday, one of these last couple of days, Amber from Yarn Hoarder again had a new podcast, and she was showing off a sock blank from a company called Goosey Fibers. My apologies. She's crazy, because I contacted the girl from Goosey Fibers. I said, can I get this sock blank this week, because I want to show it on my podcast and I love it. So if you guys watch Amber from Yarn Hoarder, you have seen this. You're gonna die. It's so cute. It's called Family Reunion. Look at this! It's bears. Do you see his eyes? It's like his eyes are closed because he's taking the picture and he closed his eyes. Look at that. Is this not the cutest thing you've ever seen? I'll open it up for you. See that? So that is what happens. That's what happens when you paint on a sock blank. You can put these, you can do multiple images. I mean, look at that. If you go on her Instagram account, which I will put all those links, you can see what this sock blank actually looks like, because she's got a picture of a knitted sock that's coming off of the sock blank. And so what happens is you find the end, you see this end right here, and you just unravel it and you start crocheting with it. Now, I know some people will unravel the whole blank and, you know, put it in scheme form, like lay it out, dip it in water, or dump it in water, soak it in water, and then it relaxes this kinkiness on the fibers. You see how it does that? So it will relax the fibers. But I really, since I've never crocheted off of a sock blank, I'm not gonna do that. I'll just see how it goes. And some, like I said, some of these are single ply or double ply, which means that you can make 2 at a time knitted socks for you knitters. But crocheters never talk about this. I've never seen someone say, oh, I bought a sock blank and I'm gonna crochet with it. Well, I'm gonna do that, and I'll let you guys will see how it goes. But I think that there's nothing that prevents a crocheter from picking up a yarn, a fiber, a sock blank, and crocheting with it. It blows my mind to think that some people think that hand-dyed yarns are mostly the domain of knitters, and that things like this are only for knitters. Because why? I don't get it. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you, and I just wanted to share the cuteness of the, I mean, I almost think like, can I make this into a scarf? I don't know, it's just too cute. But no, I will be crocheting with it. So I wanted to share that. And the other thing I wanted to say about Goosey Fibers, I'll show you her. This is the tag that came with the sock blank. There's family reunion. I wanted to say that I really appreciate when Etsy sellers put a little note in their, you know, in their invoice like this, because I really want to support small businesses, and I feel like a lot of the small businesses in the fiber community are run by women, and I love supporting women who are figuring out ways to be income earners for their family that doesn't require them to have like a crazy job. I know some people do, they have to do that, but I like supporting women and women's businesses. And I love what she wrote here. She says, Claudia, thank you for your order. This Goosey blank was made with love and care. I hope it brings your day lots of joy. Happy crafting, Caitlin. What a wonderful note, right? I love that note. It's the same thing like when I ordered from Faye from Knit It, Hook It, Craft It. When I received her packet, she had put in a little handwritten note. I love those details. First of all, people don't handwrite anything anymore. Like, I've written letters to people, and I've gotten, you know, they're like surprised, because who writes a letter anymore? Or cards. I love writing cards. I put a post on my Instagram account of some of the things that I love, and I love writing with fountain pens, because it's just, I think it feels sexy. I mean, it's great. I love it. Anyway, side tangent. But yes, so there is a Ravelry thread called Sock It To Me on my Ravelry group page, on the Crochet Luna podcast Ravelry page. If you go in there, oh my gosh. Sorry. If you go in there, you will see all the wonderful socks people are working on. Tamara from Crafty Escapism is our resident sock expert. She is wonderful about going in there and pointing people in the right direction or answering questions. But really, everybody, you know what it is my other dog, Rocky, is actually in the other room. And the sliding door is only open like this. So she's got her head in there and she can't open the door, and she's getting really frustrated. So I let her in, she's fine. Anyway, as I was saying, so much more relaxed doing this podcast than the one I did last time. So I'm just happy to be talking to you guys. I miss talking to you guys. I love sharing all the fiber stuff and the yarn. I guess I don't really actually have fiber. I mean, I have yarn. But yeah, I miss talking to you guys. Oh, check it out. Check this out. It's my Mrs. Brown's bag. Oh my God, I haven't shared this with you guys. I bought this a while ago because I love the grocery girls. Like, I feel like, God, I just want to have a drink with them. They are so much fun. So I bought this bag because it was the only bag in the shop that didn't have the knitted fabric. If you know about Jody from the Grocery Girls, she is Mrs. Brown's Bags, and in her Etsy shop she sells her bags, and they are basically prints of knitted swatches. And so this was the only bag she had on there that didn't have the knitted print, and so I bought it. So my socks are living here, and then my little bee that I made for the Hotel of Bees, Cal, is living right there. She's hanging out. Yeah, so I want to make some crochet socks, people. I really want to. I really want to get into it. I think it's going to be so cool. And I feel encouraged by doing the short ones to start off with and see how it goes. But getting back to Rohn's book, I'm so happy that he wrote that book. I think it was a 2-year process for him. It's well researched, it's well written. And I started following him on Instagram, and he does a lot of like live videos on Instagram. He just seems like a cool guy. I think he's super talented, and guess what? I am going to have a giveaway. Because see this book here? This is like my book, but you see the one right there? Okay, that one. That one. That is a signed copy of the book that I purchased from Rohn, and I'm going to put a package together for a giveaway. So it's going to have its own separate thread. It's gonna be called My Crochet Fantasy Socks, and I'm gonna make you work for it, because not only are you gonna get this version of this book, which, like I said, is personalized by Rohn. I put a little package of goodies together for you. You're going to get 2 balls of sock yarn. This is the Croy patterns. How pretty is that? Let me get that. You're going to get your own 2.75 millimeter hook. And then you're going to get this cool bag to carry all your stuff in. And the bag says, "Yarn is my therapy," because we all know it so is. So this package is going to go to one winner. The thread is going to be on Ravelry. Should be on Ravelry by the time the podcast airs. And like I said, it's going to be called My Crochet Fantasy Socks. And what you're going to do is trying to find a pattern for a sock that you would like to crochet. Whether you do it or not, I don't care. I mean, it would be great if you did, but I don't really care if you do. Because if you do crochet it, then you can go onto the Sock It To Me thread and put in your, your progress pictures, your finished objects. You could do that there. But this, for the giveaway, I want you to look around, whether it's from a magazine, if it's Ravelry, from a book, and share with us a crochet sock pattern that really calls to you. That's going to be the giveaway. So I will be, I'll leave it open for a couple weeks. I'll give people time to really work it. And then probably by the next time I podcast, I will pick a winner. I usually announce my winners on Instagram first. I won't do that this time. So you'll have to watch my next podcast to figure out who the winner is. But like I said, find your crochet fantasy socks. Let us know what those are. Join the Ravelry group, and then you'll win the book. You'll win the book. You'll win these beautiful sock yarns, and you get a nice hook, and then you will get the cool bag. I have like 3 of these because there's one that says yarn is my therapy, one is crochet all day or something like that. I don't know, but they're really convenient. Okay, that's it for the sock portion of this show. Next up is going to be, guys, get ready. Summer of Romance Cow. Holy guacamole, people. You have blown me away. I have actually listed every single couple that is participating in this cow, is represented in this cow. First up, we have Allison from the Keep Calm and Carry Yarn podcast. Her couple is Claire and Henry from the Time Traveler's Wife. And I know there was a movie with Eric Bana and Rachel McAdams, I believe, that came out a few years ago. And I said to Allison, oh my God, am I going to cry if I see this movie? And she said yes. So, oh my gosh, I cry over everything. So I'm going to watch it. I haven't seen it, so I'll watch it. Then we have Bookbrook 731. Her couple is Kate and Corinne from the Kate Daniels series by Ilona Andrews. It is a paranormal romance, if I'm correct. I don't know much about that series, so I can't comment on it. And then the big winner of the Summer of Romance Cow so far, Pride and Prejudice. Yes, Pride and Prejudice. I've got 1, 2, 3 people who have chosen Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy as their couple, and what's so cool about it is that everyone's got their own take on it, and that's what I wanted to see. And so beautiful yarns, great patterns, gotta check it out. Then we have Tamara from Crafty Escapism, and her couple is Lucy and George from A Room with a View. Then we've got Heathcliff and Catherine from Wuthering Heights, and that is being done by Melody and V. Kelly 130. Now, Melody has a new podcast, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Then we've got Eternity 21, and she's chosen Buffy and Spike from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Now, I think that's interesting because I never watched that show, but I thought it was like Angel was her dude, right? So she's taking a different take on the pairing up. Rosina, oh my God, you guys. Rosina has done the most amazing blur. She was showing it off on her podcast yesterday. Amazing. Rosina, yeah, 2 thumbs up on your blur. It's beautiful. And her couple is the Doctor and Rose. Confession. I've only watched 3 episodes of the Doctor Who show, but it's on my list this summer to catch up. It's interesting. I like it. It's just that, between like Fear the Walking Dead and Walking Dead and I'm doing Deadwood. I'm watching that show, Deadwood, and all this other crap that I watch. The list is just getting longer and longer. I told my husband that we're gonna get a dry erase board and put it like next to the TV, and then we're gonna put all the shows we're watching and what episodes we're on, because a lot of times we'll be like, oh, let's watch some Deadwood. Where did we leave off? What episode did we see? Anyway, so I will be catching up with Doctor Who this summer. Then we have, this was a really interesting one. Rochelle Strait picked the Halle Berry and Tom Hanks couple from Cloud Atlas. I did see that movie. I thought it was pretty interesting. So I think what really caught my attention about Rochelle's pick is that her shawl is called the Lost in Time shawl, and it's going to be amazing. You guys should check it out. Then we've got, Persuasion. Lori Q. Oh, I'm sure I've butchered your name, Lori. I apologize. She's doing Captain Wentworth and Anne Elliot, and she's almost done, which is super cool. Then we've got Country Dragon is doing Cayenne and Trap from the Spider Game by Christine Feehan. I've heard of Christine. I think Feehan is the way you say her name. I've heard of her because she does a lot of paranormal romance, and you know that's like my thing. So yeah, so we've got a lot of really cool projects. I know somebody was doing Grease, but it's not on the Ravelry thread. I only know that because it's in the hashtag SRCAL on Instagram. And if you go on there, you can see what people are working on. And I saw this really beautiful pink yarn that's being used for, I'm assuming, I think it's Grease, right? Let me know. And so I finished my first shawl for the Summer of Romance, but I'm going to work on shawl number 2. I have 3 in mind. So I've done the Blur one, which is my Mac Meets Baron. Number 2 is going to be my Charlie Reyes shawl, which I'll talk about later. And number 3, I'm going to do Love in the Time of Cholera, because I love that book. So I've got 3 in mind. I've finished one. I've got the yarns for the second one picked out. I don't have a pattern yet. I thought I did, but you know what? I don't like it now that I was looking at it the other day. I'm going to have to change that. And then for the third one, I have no idea. So moving on to some more Cal news. Festival of Finishing that's being hosted by Faye of the Crochet Circle podcast. I finished one little lonely hat, which is the one that had the 5 ends to weave in. How pathetic is that, right? 5 ends. It's taken me like 10 months to do that. But I can't show it to you because I gave it away to my cousin Evelyn's little boy wanted a hat, so I gave it to her. But as you can see here, I've hung up all my stuff that I've got to finish. I rearranged my yarn, so these 2 shelves right here have more of the stuff that I want to finish, which I found 4 more things. I'm so embarrassed. It's not that I'm embarrassed, it's just that I'm a dork. Because I'm all like, yeah, I've only got these 5 things. Well, no. I'll show you one. Well, I'll show you 2. Look at this cute little pencil pouch. I worked on this like over 2 years ago. All that's missing on it is I need to line it and to put a zipper on it. This is actually one of the projects that I wrote on my blog when I was actually trying to have a blog. And all the instructions, I think, are there to do this. It's done in sugar and cream cotton yarn. But yeah, look at this cute little, that's my little sugar skull that I did. And this little motif actually comes from this book called 30-Minute Crochet. And I love this book. I've had this book for a while. It has a bunch of little things that you can make, and the little guideline here tells you the level of expertise that you need to make it. So you can be it has beginner, intermediate, and experienced, depending on the color of the box that surrounds the project. So yes, that is actually, my little sugar skull is actually this pattern here, which is, I think, a pattern for zombies or something. Anyway, I'm going to finish that. I'm going to finish this little pencil pouch. Then I have one that actually was hanging on my mannequin last time that I podcasted, and I completely, ignored it and didn't show it to you. It's a granny stitch shawl that I made. Here it is. It's huge. It's really big. So that's the bottom. But see these ends? Ends. And more ends. It's done. I just need to weave in the ends. The yarn is Karen Simply Soft, except for this part is Barocco Vintage, which I have 4 skeins of this yarn. It's really pretty. I was lucky enough that my husband's uncle, his wife, her good friend was a yarn shop owner, and she closed her shop, and so she gave me 2 boxes of yarn that were gorgeous and different, and in it was a ton of Barocco Vintage, and so whenever I have a chance to use that yarn, I do it because it's so pretty. It's got nice little color variations. Anyway, so I gotta add this to the stuff that I didn't finish. Also is my shawl that I showed on episode 1, which was my take on the Spice Market shawl by Melanie Berg, which is a knitted pattern. I never weaved in the ends, so I'm gonna do that. But that brings me to another cow that I'll be joining, which is Jillian from the Cuckoo for Cows podcast. She's doing a granny stitch crochet along that starts July 1st and it's going to end September 1st. And it's basically any crochet pattern. I was talking to her via Instagram before I started podcasting, and I said, you're on Ravelry, it says granny square along, but the people who have shown patterns are just doing granny stitch. And she said, no, it's granny stitch. So feel free to enter starting July 1st. Feel free to enter that cow, and it's any pattern with a granny stitch. And I'm so excited about that because a while back ago I purchased a pattern from Sandra of the Cherry Heart podcast. She has a pattern for fingerless gloves and a cowl called Keep Granny Warm. This is a paint pattern. But my God, is it well written. It is a beautiful pattern. It is well documented, well written. The font is nice. Like, I have, I wear glasses with bifocals. Hello? I mean, come on. I'm like, let me show you. Sidetrack again. For my birthday, my brother-in-law got me this. Do you see what this is? And I asked for this. I said, oh my God, I need one of these. It is like a little magnifying glass thingy so that I can, and has a light. So I can crochet and see what I'm doing, because especially with the small stitches, with the small hooks and the thin yarn, it is straining my eyes. And so I was excited to get that. But yes, getting back to Jillian's, I am all over the place today, you guys. It's like, I feel like, I don't know, maybe I need a drink. Maybe I don't need a drink. Okay, so I purchased this pattern a while ago, and, I was saying about the font and how well written it is. She's got, really nice, way of keeping track of your colors, and she's got a photo tutorial. I mean, it's so cool. I will be doing this one for Jillian's crochet along that starts July 1st. And then I am excited also to share another pattern with you guys, which I came across. It's called, and this is also a paid pattern, Window into Winter by Aline. I can't even pronounce this name. I'll just show it to you. This is the name. This is the pattern. Look at this shawl. Is this not beautiful? And it's almost like, from reading the pattern, it's almost like a corner to corner situation that we're going to get into here. I know I shouldn't be getting any more patterns, but this really called my name. So that's going to go in the future shawl list thingamajig list. I don't know. I do have a list of stuff that I want to do. There's another cow that is open to crochet that's being run by the Grocery Girls, and I think it's the Canadian Mall make along. Anything that is here, I wrote it. I actually printed out the thing so I could read it to you guys. Okay. It has to be either Canadian designer, Canadian yarn, Canadian themes. And the mall will officially commence on Canada's birthday, July 1st, and run all summer, ending September 30th. So this is to celebrate Canada's 150th birthday. So check it out. I mean, the thing about the Grocery Girls is that they give out fantastic prizes because they get so many beautiful things in their, donated to their podcast. Although a lot of people enter those, I think it's cool because you can chat and share and see what other people are making, and I don't know, I just like Jody and Tracy. I think they're cool. So next I want to talk to you about some new crochet podcasts I've come across, which I think it's super exciting that people are taking the leap to podcasts and talk about crochet. Not every podcast is for everybody, so now you have a variety of podcasts to choose from, and I think that's awesome. So the first one that I have is Melody Crochet. Now Melody is out of Texas. She's got 5 episodes. She knits and crochets and has a really nice, sweet personality, so check out her podcast. She is joining in our Summer of Romance Cow, and so it's been pretty fun to see all the stuff that she's making. I think she does watercolors or paints. I think she's a painter as well. So that's pretty cool. So check her out. Then there's Megan from Toe Creations. She's got about 10 episodes. She's out of Indiana. You know what's really sweet about her podcast is that she says that she created her podcast so she can share what she makes with her grandma. So she, I think she also knits and she crochets to sell like at fairs and things like that, which I totally respect because I crocheted some hats for friends. They asked me to do that, and I recreated about, I think, 7 of the same hat. And I realized it's not for me. I can't keep doing the same thing over and over. So I have mad respect for people who crochet to sell finished items on Etsy and stuff. So check out Megan. There's a new podcaster out of the UK. Her name is Lindsay, and she's got the Lottie and Albert podcast. She's making some really pretty things. Oh, and I forgot to say, so if you check out Megan from Toe Creations, she did a really beautiful Hotel of B shawl that you should check out. So, okay, back to Lindsay, sorry. So Lindsay's got a podcast. She's got, how many episodes? I think she's only got 4 episodes on her channel, but super delightful to watch, super sweet, beautiful stuff that she makes. And so that's another crochet podcast. Then I mentioned last time that my Doris shawl that I crocheted, I named the Cypress shawl because I was watching the Lorraine Pugh's podcast. A huge fan of Lorraine's. I really like the way she podcasts. she mentioned another podcast that's UK based, which is Little Drops of Wonderful. Really enjoy that podcast. She does a lot of cool stuff, and she does some amigurumi stuff, which I really enjoy. So check her out. She's done a daily vlog in June. Every day in June, she's posted a video, which is amazing because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to film. It's a lot of work to upload. So kudos to her for doing that. But through Lorraine, I found another podcast that's new to me, and it's the Dunkelgrün podcast, and it's Anna, and she's got 7 videos. Now, she is only a knitter, but what attracts me to her podcast is that she is a yarn dyer, and she's dyeing up some beautiful yarns with natural stuff, and I don't know, there's something about her, the way she does her podcast, that is so soothing. Like, I could listen to her talk about stuff like forever. So there you go. We've got Melody from Melody Crochet, Megan from Toe Creations, Lindsay from Lottie and Albert. Then you've got Allie from Little Drops of Wonderful, and Anna from the Dunkelgrün podcast. So there's some new ones for you to check out. If there's any other predominantly crochet podcasts that you think that I should be watching, or that you think that should be added to this list, please let me know. I would love to promote other crochet podcasters. And so there you go. Now, drum roll please, because I want to share one of my most favorite things that I've made this year so far, which is my blur shawl. And this is my Summer of Romance entry, and it is called the Mac Meets Baron shawl, and that is because I am representing Michaela Lane and Jericho Behrens from the Fever series that was written by Carrie Marie Monning. This is book 1, called Dark Fevers, book 1. And I feel like I hit the trifecta with this shawl. Perfect pattern, perfect yarn, perfect colorway. I am in love with my blur. It's a big shawl. It's a really big shawl. So here it is. I can't even begin to tell you how happy I am with this. Working with Heidi from Wolfie Wolf Yarn, Wolfie Wool. I keep saying Wolfie Wolf, but it's Wolfie Wool. First of all, I cannot get enough of looking at this logo. I love it. It was such a positive experience. She is super talented and has wonderful communication skills, and got great customer service. So I look at this. I mean, look at this. This is the color that is a one skein, and then this color here, which was called Stratosphere, has the same colors as this one, and I just feel like it just flows so well. This yellow is beautiful, and I love what it's doing. I don't even, I know some people don't like the pooling, but I love what it's doing here. I love this color. This is a one-of-a-kind. This was a one-of-a-kind color, and I bought both of the mini skeins for it. This one here is called Oxblood. It's a beautiful red. So yes, this is my blur. I love the shawl. I love the pattern. Deanne from Addie Day Designs is the designer of this pattern. And I learned a lot. Even though the stitches are simple, there's a way that she tells you how to work the yarn up the sides, which I'm hoping she will do some kind of like little mini tutorial on, because I've never seen it done that way, and it was a new to me technique. And so I asked her if I could talk about it, and she said go ahead. but I didn't have enough time to do a swatch to show you, maybe on the next podcast, because I really didn't have a lot. Even with all these transitions, because you've got different stripes of yarn here, even with these transitions that you make here, you don't have a lot of ends to weave in because of the way she tells you how to do the yarn. See these stripes right here? So Deanne, you're a genius for doing that. So that's my blur. And then my next shawl, which is my next finished object, is my Rocky shawl. I used a free pattern from Fiberflex called the Filomena Shawlette. So really, it's super simple, super quick. And this is what it looks. It's really small. I mean, it's long, but it reads like a scarf to me, which is great. And then you get to do these tassels, which this was my first time doing tassels, which is really cool. I like that. I'll be making more. This is 100% acrylic yarn. It is all Vanna's Choice. I lost the ball bands for all of these, but you can obviously see this is black. This was like an off-white, and then this yarn here has like little fuzzies of other colors. But I'll put a picture of Rocky so that you can see how he inspired me, because I used the colors in his coat and the black for his nose and his eyes. So I entered this in the Yarn Hoarder podcast, Kevin Cow, because she's running a cow for her doggy Kevin, who passed away. So next up, I want to wrap it up by showing you some yarn that I've acquired. I went to a local yarn shop the other day and I bought some yarn. And the first one is one I've never come across this blend before. It's a cashmere, 90% cotton, 10% cashmere blend. It is from a California-based company called Trendsetters Yarn. And it is this. This is all cotton and cashmere. It is, oh my gosh, it is so soft. Look at these colors. Isn't that pretty? It's got little like hints of pink in there. Anyway, I picked that up because I've never worked with this kind of blend, and I always like finding different yarns. It's super soft. It's really soft. And then they had the whole perimeter of the yarn shop. The whole perimeter on top was Malabrigo yarn, just hanging. Has gorgeous Malabrigo in every color, in every yarn that you could think of, and this was the one that called my name. It's called it's the Arroyo, and it is Arco Iris. Arco Iris is Spanish for rainbow. Look at this color. Do these not just say like fall to you? I love the way these colors look. Look at this. So pretty. And then this is arcoiris as well, but look how different that is. Isn't that so pretty? Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous colors. I couldn't pass these up. So if you look at them together, they look like that. It's almost like they look nothing like each other, but yet they're the same. They're the same colorway. And Arroyo is actually a, let's see, 100% merino wool. So pretty. So then, I follow Selena Baca. If you guys don't know, Selena Baca is a super cool American crochet designer. And love her patterns. Love her patterns. She seems so accessible. She does Facebook Live interviews, and like today she was interviewing Marley Bird. She actually interviewed Shannon from Yarn Baby. It was so cool. Um, so Selena Baca, I took a class from her last fall about having a crochet business that blew me away. I learned so much in that class. You would think you can figure this stuff out, how to run a crochet business. No. The main thing I learned is that people who crochet for a living are not charging enough. And she breaks it down to you why you should be charging what you should be charging. And anyway, the class was wonderful. And so she's always putting out patterns. She does great giveaways as well. She's always giving out her patterns. And she had a new one that was released this week. And when I saw the pattern, I'm like, I gotta make it. I gotta make about 10 of them. And it's called the Julie Lynn Poncho. Look at how pretty that is. And even the way she does her patterns is so cool. Look at the way she does her patterns. Isn't that beautiful? She's such a professional. I really enjoy Selena Baca. So I bought the pattern because if you joined her Facebook group, the pattern was $1. Right? And then I was watching her live interview and she was talking about it, and somebody mentioned if a cotton yarn would be okay for the pattern, and she said yes, but she suggested something like this, which is, this is Hobby Lobby. I love this cotton, but look at this color. Like I said, look. Right? I mean, expensive, not so expensive. You can do it, people. You can crochet beautiful things. You don't have to spend a gazillion dollars doing it. But this is really pretty. So this is 100% cotton. It's very soft. So I'll be using this to crochet that. And I found this really nice project bag at Michael's yesterday for 10 bucks. 50% coupon. That's what I'm saying. So look at, it's got 2 holes right there, and then you can pull your yarn through the holes. And then I put in my own stitch marker there because that's how I roll. So that's all the cool stuff that I've bought, the cool stuff that I've finished, the stuff that I want to make. There, like I said, I talked about the giveaway, and I want to thank you again for sticking around. I know this is probably going to be a long episode, but I hope that you enjoyed it, and thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for joining the Ravelry group, and I've gotten a lot of Instagram followers in the last couple of weeks, so I want to say thank you to you. I'm very active on Instagram, way more than on Facebook or the blog. So if you want to see what I'm up to, definitely follow me on Instagram. I will use the line that my children keep saying to me that I need to tell you, which is smash that like button. And I will see you next time. I won't give you a time date, a time when I'll be back, because it's summertime. My kiddos are at home and it's a little bit more difficult to find the time to podcast, but I miss you guys when I don't talk to you or see your messages or comments. So take care, crochet on, have an awesome weekend, big hugs, big kiss. See you next time. Bye.